What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today we are previewing the New York Jets against the Baltimore Ravens. Week 12 NFL football. It's the 5-5 Ravens who are 10th in points for, 23rd in points against the New York Jets who are 2-8 with 25th in points for and 27th in points against. You may have noticed yesterday, or if you're a longtime follower, yesterday was episode 300 of Just Jets. We're doing a giveaway, giving away one of these sweatshirts from Fanatics, the rivalry set up for their game coming up against the Miami Dolphins in a few weeks. And the winner is Tristan Santos. Congratulations, Tristan. We'll be in contact with you to get that shipped out. All right, here's the big news of the week. We talked about it at length. The Jets are turning it over to Tyrod Taylor. A big storyline in this game is, can we see a better offensive output with him versus Justin Fields? Passing attack, what does that look like? Can they get more than 120 passing yards, which has only happened once in the last 5 weeks that we've seen Justin Fields, unfortunately, right? Like, that's the bar that they are trying to hit, and that's what they are trying to evaluate. And while, we're going to get into it, but matchup wise, I don't love this matchup for the Jets at all. I think it's one of their toughest games on the schedule, even though I get it. They've had a slow start, the Baltimore Ravens, but they've caught fire. They've won 4 in a row. They're back up to 500. Lamar Jackson, I was back, right? 3rd game back. He's played 3 games since coming back. And he struggled last week against Cleveland. 2 interceptions. They didn't score a ton of points. But the Jets don't have Myles Garrett. They don't really have a pass rush unless they're up in the game, right? Like, they at times could get a pass rush from Will McDonald and Jermaine Johnson, but they don't have a player who's going to take over the game and have 4 sacks in that game and just make life absolute hell for Lamar Jackson. I don't think that's what's going to be the case this week. So with the Jets' struggles in the pass rush, on top of them just being a defense that struggles, this feels like a get-right game for the Baltimore Ravens, right? Like, Derrick Henry has really hit his stride in the second half of this season. It feels like one of those games where he's going to get like over 20 carries, go over 100 yards. We think the Jets don't want to tackle. And add Derrick Henry on top of that. Outside of Jarvis Brownlee and Brandon Stevens, who's bringing this guy down in the secondary? Tony Adams certainly isn't. He's going to play, I would imagine, this week. It's a really tough spot for this Jets team who, let's be honest, is struggling. So game plan for the Ravens, I think it's going to be a heavy dosage of Derrick Henry, and I think when Lamar Jackson does drop back to pass, not that he's throwing 30 plus times in this game, that would surprise me. I would think it's going to be an efficient day. Like, Drake May had 11 straight completions to start the game against the Jets. I think, the Steve Wilks defense against pretty much anyone not named Bo Nix or Bryce Young has been fairly horrendous. Like, Drake May pretty much had his way, or Dylan Gabriel also, right? Like, those were the best defensive performances that the Jets have had. Aaron Rodgers carved them up pretty good in week 1. Even Joe Flacco carved him up, but like Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Drake May, add him into the mix. They've all had pretty successful time. Even Tua was pretty successful against this Jets defense. So I think Lamar Jackson's going to have his way with this Jets defense. So let's get into my sleeper picks, okay? Derrick Henry, I am picking more than 86.5 rushing yards. Lamar Jackson, more than 1.5 passing touchdowns. And for my Jets pick, Nick Folk, more than 1.5 field goals made. I think he goes 2 for 2 on the day kicking field goals. I just don't see this as a game the Jets get into the end zone very often. Use promo code O'Leary and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. New offer, there's a free $20 no deposit required promo. Terms and conditions apply. All right, just to round out my stat predictions, Tyrod Taylor, he's making the start for the New York Jets, his first start since the Tampa Bay game. I don't think he puts up crazy numbers. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's horrible. I think he gives you an okay performance, something like 19 of 30, which is 63.3%, a little over 200 yards, like 204, a touchdown, no pick, 94.3 rating. Lamar, 20 of 28, 71.4%, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, no pick, 118.5 rating. Some other predictions. Henry goes, I said this one already, but Henry goes over 100. And I think Mason Taylor has the lone touchdown of the day. All right, it's prediction time. I am struggling a little bit against the spread after a hot start. 5-5 there, 6-4 picking these games straight up. I am taking the Ravens to win outright and the Ravens to cover the big number. They're 13.5-point favorites. I think they win this one by 2 touchdowns. I get it. It's a huge, huge number. I'm still taking Baltimore. I think this is like a 31-13 kind of game. I just don't have faith in this Jets offense right now. Even with the switch to Tyrod Taylor, and defensively, I just don't think they're going to have the answers to, one, getting home against Lamar, and number 2, stopping him in this game. A horrible matchup for the Jets. I hope they surprise us. I hope they prove us wrong, but this one has blowout written on it to me. I think the Jets lose by double digits. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me in this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.